bring up that brother, spokesman of CRAID in Oakland, Imam Fahim Shuaib.
Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Really excellent placement after Imam Wali, because I was very good. I was there. I was back. And it's like, we knew how to be enthusiastic. We knew how to be excited. But we were young and in love. It's good. How do you know? The reminder, brings it all back. One thing that I don't have on my mind right now as a specific time, but this is going to be an archival history assignment to whoever takes it and see if you can identify it. The Community Voice was a magazine. What they printed back then? Yeah. What was the couple's name? Rashid was the one, yeah. And of course, Progressive Magazine and the other, all this is part of our history. But the thing is, Muslim American Spokesman for Human Salvation. Now, I know that title that the Imam took on for himself came, but I don't know exactly the date. I don't know. Okay. When did he first use it? When was that first published? When did we see that first in the public? And like with so many things that Imam Muhammad gave us, being farsighted and being just ahead, it's just ahead, it's simply. It troubled X number of people, because what does that mean? Muslim American Spokesman, human salvation. It's like, that's just a huge title that he's taken on himself. Like he may as well call himself Jesus. Because that's what Jesus was supposed to be. He was the savior of humanity, right? But it also falls into the category of the mistaken understanding that our people and our people by that I mean Muslims abroad, when they heard the Imam say we are Bilalians, that we prefer Bilalian as a term, they thought that we were starting a sect. We started an entirely separate sect, something new in Al-Islam. They had no reference to it, no comprehension of, hey man, we got issues that go far beyond what you're talking about. And the Imam has discovered, a powerful answer to an age-old problem for us, that if we would have embraced it the way that we should, and it can still be embraced. I think if we've grown up, and we know what the deal is, But in the context of CRAID, the committee to remove all images that attempt to portray divine, I want to go back to that idea. Well, then therefore, now that we know better him and what he stood for and how he did things, what did you really mean is that, Muslim American Spokesman for Human Salvation.
That's it.
On one level, it wasn't big on the, and hopefully, inshallah, if I can explain a little better than we see it. On one level, it's big, but it's also not big. If you really understand what he meant by human, it's big and it's not big. It's big in that if you really know what human means, it's real big. But it's not big if you understand it to mean, well, I'm just speaking for the preservation of that humanity. Because we're losing humanity. We're losing humanity. He's not saying, I'm here to save all people. It didn't mean that. It didn't mean I'm here to save all people. But I'm going to be a spokesman. Somebody got to speak for it. That's what he said. He said, I don't hear or see someone speaking for the salvation of humanity, of human nature, human content, human essence, human reality. Our created reality is human. Who's speaking for that? Who's speaking for that? I mean, Jesse Jackson was saying, you are somebody. Now, I don't know who you are, but you are somebody, right? And that was enough for us. You are somebody, you are somebody. They're not as, well, okay. And we are who? You never had the answer. What is it? Problem, solution? You wrote it down, what did you say? The plot, the message, the problem, the solution. So he didn't just express the problem. That was also the problem with all the blacky things. Right. We got a problem, we got a problem, we got a problem. Nobody has no solution. You know what I'm saying? The solution is, and the answer is who you are. You're human. It's like that just goes over so many heads. And people dare to say, I know that. They dare to say, I know that. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. When you think about human, the people who respond like that, you think about human in relationship to mineral, plant, animals. You say in relation to mineral, plant, animals, I'm human. Meaning, I'm not an animal, I'm not a plant, I'm not a mineral. But what does it mean to be human? That you don't know. Because the idea that we have been given, have been and had been given, of humanity was not true. For humanity, right? Because it told us human being is sinful by nature. That's not true. Human being is not sinful by nature. Human being is innocent by nature, righteous by nature, obedient by nature, pliant by nature, loving by nature, kind by nature, humble by nature. That's what a human being is by nature. But all those things are things that were being and that continue to be lost more and more in society. Just yesterday, sometimes it came to mind, and Jumon just went past it, didn't mention it, so we're not being distracted. It's right, I didn't mention this at this point. On the way to Jumon, buses on the bus, bus stops at the bus stop, just pick up people. There's a person across the street. Okay, they get caught by the light changes. The bus is right there at the side. And the person shouts out, he wasn't that far, and the bus hadn't started moving yet. They're, hey, I know that bus driver, heard and saw. You're sitting up high, you can see that person over there saying, hey, you know they depend on public transportation. They're trying to get on the bus. How come you can't wait for 1 30-second to give this person, let them get on the only ride they have that day? You just gone. And unfortunately, I kind of got the image of somebody getting a sick pleasure out of just getting. You gotta wait now. It's like, where's your humanity? Humanity just said, wait for the man. That's right. Just wait for the man. That's human. That's human. Right? And all you gotta do is read the headlines and get the rest of it. I mean, you read the headlines, you get inhuman headlines. All these examples of people not being human. You see? So when you apply that to CRAID, a lie started a long time ago about what is and is not human. Listen to a very beautiful song. Did somebody say something today about beautiful lies? It sounded like somebody said something around that order. But the Dales have this song, I'm Only a Man. What's that? Was the Barack Obama videos? What are YouTube things? Sometimes I surf the YouTube web. But it's a very beautiful song. I mean, we just get touched and enraptured and, but they're beautiful lies. What's that Tony Braxton song? You say, if I don't see you again, I'll never breathe again. It's beautiful, but you're lying. But see, we don't even think about the reasoning of it, the rationale of it. We just, oh yeah. That song. But you're in love with a lie. And so they had it, so the Dale singing this song. Dale's put it on you. Yeah. If you want to change your mood, put on some old school songs. If you feeling bad, just put on the record. That's old school stuff. Now, the rest of y'all the haram music set. Let's put a bit So in case, so you listen to it, there's the lie again, but it's being presented in a very beautiful package. And we get caught up in the aesthetic of the package, and the lie just creeps right on into our head. That's the greatest thing you can be. In the physical universe, there is nothing in creation greater than man, i.e. the human being, which includes male and female. Allah created us to be Khalifa. Somebody say Khalifa, right? That's what we are. Well, and when we talk about the blockage, something simple that Imam Muhammad points out. We call it simple. I mean, it's only simple when you understand it. Profound when you understand it as well. In the scheme of things, that he said, this world doesn't encourage you to use your 5 senses. I don't care how simple that sounds. You got to stop, take a breath. You've got to think about it. He don't want you to use your 5 senses. Either they don't encourage you to use them, or they occupy them so completely that no access for truth or enlightenment can get inside you. Because if the enlightenment ever, like water getting to dry land, if it ever gets inside you and it reaches that human seed, the human being is going to grow.
That's right. Yes.
And the human being by nature seeks out virtue. And it by nature, human being, it's on the inside of this physical body, beyond the cover, beyond the skin. When that human being, when it sees injustice, it goes up against it. John Brown, don't matter, I'm white, they black, you wrong. In all the eyes, that's also the thing I'm not to mention about, it's hurting 2 sets of people. White folks getting hurt, black folks getting hurt as well, in the context of that false image. But at the same time, when that nature is reached, then it replies. And so the extreme blackness denies the contribution that white people, quote unquote, in skin, but human in nature, the Quakers, huh? And all the other abolitionists, it was their humanity saying, this just ain't right. The man who wrote the song, the slave guy on the planet, yeah, Amazing Grace. What happened? His humanity. Man, transporting all these human cargo, they treat them like animals and this and that. Said, this is wrong. And so that reached his humanity. Now we sing that song without an understanding of how rich it was and how deep it was and where it came from, right? So the idea of blocking access to that humanity, and one of the ways that they block access to the humanity, not only by presenting the images, say all the images of divine are other than you, that blocks the white one from getting to his humanity, it blocks the black one from getting to their humanity as well. And so the idea is that we have to get people to begin to just use their 5 senses and have a natural contact with the material creation. Yes, my son, youngsters need to do gardening. We talked about botany and Waritheen this morning. We have to get in touch. Remember that movie Phenomenon? I'm almost done. That movie Phenomenon, we talked about all this great potential and power was coming out of this person. It was always in this person, but he had some kind of accident, some kind of disease, probably malady. His name was George Malady, in the story. But the idea is that there was one point when he put his hands on the ground. He had already developed these powers, these things that were just weirding people out, as they say, making sunglasses, spit, telekinesis and all that. But then he still hadn't grasped it. He still hadn't got it. But then one day he was in his garden and he put his hands in the earth like this. And the wind started blowing in the trees and he was moving, and then he understood, got connected. He understood, I'm a part of this universe. These powers are coming through me because of my bond with material creation. And that's what they don't want. Whoever has the power, they don't want you to get the connection between you as the cosmic man, male and female. If you ever see yourself as God created you and connect with that, well, then you got all the power. You see? But if I keep you under the illusion that all the power belongs to white people, and you believe that, then I keep you disconnected from your power in so many ways. So, the significance of what CRAID represents and the significance of still needing to do that job, as was mentioned by Imam Siraj, there's a backlash, say, hey, you got a black president, I gotta have something else now. Give me my shot, because whenever they get something, we supposed to get more. Right? That's what the Imam said. One of the things the Imam said, one of the problems for freedom in America is the freedom that black people got. Because as soon as we got some civil rights, the white people give us some more. You gave the blacks that, and the black people, we gotta have that. And so they're running out of stuff, so they gotta go to fantasy. Because more don't exist anywhere in the real world, so that's why they're going after all these fantasies. Right? So that's very, very, very important. And I got something, I say this seriously, but Imam Siraj says he got jokes, we got jokes. No, but it's very, very true. I was listening to his voice, listening to his tonality, listening to his skin tone, rhythm, and the like. And I saw the Jesus after you mentioned it. But what I saw before that, I said, if they ever do Barack Obama's life, if you could let the dreads and the beard go for the few $100 million they give you for playing that role, you would be a perfect Barack Obama character. Your tone of voice, all you do is get that rhythm, and you can play Barack to the max. So you Jesus and Barack. So alhamdulillah, so I said that to the contribution here. Allah, the beat and the quest and the parade goes on.
And now, as we move from the spokesman, we want to talk about the pioneering spirit, and I bring up our brother Yusuf Wakia, First Bear and CRAID Chairman.
You said 10 minutes? I had 20. That's all coming down to 15 minutes. That was 20 from the beginning. You got 20. Alhamdulillah. And then you just gave me 2 more. So I'm gonna do it in 10, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, Bismillah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Assalamu alaikum. I am happy to announce that I am the first father-in-law of the United States of America. I finally done something. Yes, my son-in-law. My wonderful daughter there, Diane. And it's a blessing and pleasure. He's an answer to prayers. I didn't have him in mind when I was praying. I didn't have one or 2 characters in mind. Praise be to Allah. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Allah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah to me. Okay, notes. Okay, all right. Excuse the fidgety stuff. Okay, you know, when you're under time, you got things on your mind, you know, the stress kicks in. So, I know how y'all know this, so everybody's with me. Alhamdulillah. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman. What I would like to do first is read from Kaf, the story of the person who came into the garden unjust to his soul. Yes, we're familiar with this. That's Surah 32, Surah 18, verse 32. And then I'm going to just read that area, then I'm going to come back to it if I have time. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واضرب لهم مثل الرجلين جعلنا لأحدهما جنتين من أعناب وحفظناهما بنخل وجعلنا بينهما زرعا. Set forth in them the parable of the two men. For one of them we provided 2 gardens of grapevines and surrounded them with date palms, and between the two we placed cornfields. كلتا الجنتين أتت أكلها ولم تظلم منه شيء وفجرنا كلاهما نهرا. Each of those gardens brought forth its produce and failed not in the least therein. In the midst of them we caused a river to flow. And you know that's rich. We just translated that into is rich. Okay, I'm going to skip for the sake of time to okay, we all pretty much know the story. Those of you may not be familiar with this passage. Just go to Kaf, so 32 to 44. And I'm going to read what his companion said to him. In brief, he was high-siding on his companion. He was saying, I got all this, and I'm better than you. You don't. Okay. So his companion's response. قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا لكن هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا فعسى ربي أن يؤتيني خيرا من جنتك ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء وتصبح سعيدا زرقا أو يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبا. Okay. His companion said to him in the course of the argument with him, do you deny him who created you out of dust, then out of a sperm drop, then fashioned you into a man? But I think for my part that he is Allah, my Lord, and none shall I associate with my Lord. Why did you not, as you went into your garden, say Allah's will? There is no power but with Allah. If you do see me less than you in wealth and sons, it may be that my Lord will give me something better than your garden, and that he will send on your garden thunderbolts from heaven, making slippery sand. All the water of the garden will run off underground, so that you will never be able to find it. Sallallahu alayhi. In relationship with that, a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is shirk is more hidden than a black ant creeping on a black stone in the middle of a moonless night. So I'm putting both of them together. If I have time, if I don't say nothing else, this is Imam W.D. Muhammad style. If I don't say nothing else, that should get good. That should be good enough for you. I ain't W.D. Muhammad, I ain't saying that to you. Okay, alhamdulillah. 5 more minutes, praise be to Allah. Okay.
No, extra 5.
Oh, extra 5? No, praise be to Allah. Bring from the crowd without I'm married. But
Your time is
okay. We gotta have fun. So when I cross that line, you say, stop for love. If I don't cross that line, let's have a little fun. CRAID was established by Imam Muhammad toward the end of toward the end of 1976 or early 1977. Once we received the info in San Francisco, a group of us formed CRAID. At that time, a few brothers I remember were Waleed Batim, Shahid Salam, Latif Abdul Rahman, Cardinal Abdullah, the sign man of the Valley Signs, Richard Mouid again, and later on, Stanford Basim Ilahi. We would go out in the populated areas, the main spots in San Francisco at Union Square, and the Market Street areas, in Berkeley on Telegraph Street, hippie land. We had the residual, the last waves of the Berkeley hippies, student protests, and People's Park. We met all kinds of people, from skinhead racists to those who still loved everybody, free love. Man, it seemed like a lifetime ago. Boy, we were there. Fahim, how old are you, bro? Your birthday was December 8th. 8th. I'm in there. And you turned 58. I turned 58 in 5th. Then we came to Oakland in middle to late 77 or 78. We continued CRAID on this side of the bay, going to the same populated areas. Downtown Oakland was dead, but sometimes we would pass through anyway to catch when we could. Around the same time, Imam Muhammad began to visit Oakland, and he soon installed Muhammad Abdullah as the head or consultative imam in this area. He asked the imams who were in the area to rotate leadership in this masjid. Richmond, San Francisco, Sacramento, Oakland every 3 months, quarterly under Muhammad Abdullah. The only imam that did that was Bashir Salam of Richmond. Muhammad Abdullah began to conduct the Jummah every Friday. Sometime during about a 2-year period, as Muhammad Abdullah advanced in age, became sickly, and eventually there was a gap in leadership because of his absence. So a group of concerned believers came together to establish the different committees that Imam Muhammad had recommended for the community to cover the normal needs of any society. They were the ways and means, the well-being, the mishap, the pioneer, the business, the culture, the political action, the education committees. It being only a few people on each committee, they decided to form one committee called the committees, and everyone worked together. We began outreach to the greater community, religious and political agencies and leaders. We would have them as guests on Wednesday nights and present them with Qurans. We instituted fundraising dinners on Saturdays after Ta'aleems and established the community's first radio broadcast on KKIS. During this time, we were still going out and CRAID on Saturdays. So we had the committees working and a few courageous people going out on CRAID. In 1979, Imam Muhammad Mustafa Hassan, Andrew Kandu. In 1979, Imam Muhammad appointed Imam Mustafa Hassan, Andrew Kandu, as Imam. Imam Hassan was introduced to political and religious leaders that we had established a relationship with, including the first black mayor, Lionel Wilson. In 1980, Imam Hassan, seeing I was a worker and a student of Quran, and Imam Muhammad asked me to be the Imam in Sacramento on the fourth Sunday. The community of Sacramento ratified me. At that time, I was no longer chairman of CRAID in Oakland. I had Brother Carlton make me some signs, and I took them to Sacramento. And there's a story about Darul Islam in Sacramento that I'll skip for the sake of time. Then I have here, in come Antar. That's when Antar became the chairman and began to take CRAID to another level. Now, going back to the Quran, I'm going to stick with these quick notes. We went for CRAID and focusing on outward images. Watch out for subtle shirk. Where we are now is because of the accumulation of past decisions. There has to be progress in the mental movement. Now, all of this calls for evaluation, but you know, as the saying goes, the words of the wise is sufficient. And I'm connecting this with CRAID outward images. Out, taking signs out, passing information out to people, requesting the preachers remove their images. To where we are today with inward images. Heard the hadith, how subtle shirk is. And this brother in Quran, he had accumulated all this great wealth. And he believed in Allah. He said, my Lord. But the other brother recognized that he was associating gods with God. See, this brother say, why are you going to reject Allah? He already came to the conclusion that he rejected it. But what happened? Habib. Where's my smile? Muhammad, you get it? Good to see you, brother. This brother, you know about all this history fact. Almost everybody here know about this history. Alhamdulillah. And I'm gonna cut that short too. And then I'm almost through. What we have to be aware of today is that my understanding, my interpretation of the past in that area is that prepared us for going inside and watching what we do and how we see things with ourselves. Because what I have truly experienced with myself and with others is that you can see your way as the way. And that's sure. You know, okay, I read this Quran, right? Sounds good, right? You know, but okay, so I can take that. Look what Allah blessed me with. So the way I see it is the way it is. I can easily do that, and I have done it before. I have done that. I've seen some certain position, and I've seen how Allah has blessed me over here, and I said, well, Allah wouldn't bless me if I wasn't right in this. But you gotta watch yourself, because that's sure. That is sure. That is sure. And that's what keeps us back from making progress, is sure. Once the Muslims start practicing different forms of shirk, to where we are today, it was predicted. It was foretold that they had seen it. Now look, this great religion, this great book, is not in the forefront of people's minds on how to make their life better. That comes from the shirk. So, alhamdulillah, in closing, this is kind of like a baton being passed to new leadership. Okay? And this is in relationship to Imam Muhammad. When he was in his late 40s, he was working with the youth. When we was doing CRAID, we was in our late 20s, early 30s. So it's about roughly a 20-year difference. Imam Muhammad died when I was 56. And he was 74, almost 75, around I was 75. Okay? When my oldest son, Maceo, was 36 or 38. He was 38. Okay, now that's the same difference between me and Imam. Now pay attention to this. I think back to 38 or 30, Mace's about 40 now. I'm 18 years older than Mace, and Imam Muhammad was 18 years older than me. So Mace was about 40. Okay, 40 was yesterday. 40 was yesterday. That went so quick. Now, that same time period, from that time Imam passed to that age, it's going to be even quicker, as we know as we get older, time gets shorter. So we don't have no time to play around. We don't have no time to play around. We have to do what we have to do. Thank you so much. I have some stuff here that I was going to share with you. But alhamdulillah, thank you so much. Thank you, Antar, for including me on the program. May Allah bless this program and bless us to support each other. Okay, Matt, as I hand you this microphone, I didn't change hats. I'll tell you all about this later on. But picture speaks 1,000 words. I'm sorry, Matt. I lost the phone. You get it back. That's right.
Now we have our keynote address, former national chairman of CRAID, Antar Jannah.
Bismillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum. I want to begin by thanking everybody for coming to this event, and I want to also thank the national CRAID community. This is an address And I think many speakers before myself came up and said the same thing, that this is going out to the United States of America, and we know there's thousands of believers who participated in the CRAID movement around the country, that walked in front of the churches and walked downtown and with the signs and passed out flyers. And we made a big impact on the United States. It went as far as the Vatican with the petition drive. And Imam Muhammad even said that he felt that his relationship with the Vatican was opened up by the CRAID Committee. And so I want to congratulate all of the believers who participated in the CRAID movement. And the CRAID movement to me, and Yusuf Imam Wakia said that, one for your brother, what you want for yourself. And that's right, it's a perfect introduction to what I want to say briefly today, is that the CRAID committee really, to me, represented love. Love. Like Sister Amatullah said, it wasn't just for African Americans, it was for Caucasians too. Because there's a lot of innocent Caucasians, they don't know. They don't know the depth of what that image represents. They were born into it too. And so Imam Muhammad came with a message of concern to American people, to all Americans, and the people around the world. So it represented love. And so I wrote something yesterday, and I was thinking, I talked to a friend of mine, and he just kind of reminded me, he said, love yourself. Love yourself. And I said, wow, that's, thanks for saying that. Sometimes you just talk to people, and they just kind of remind you, He said, love yourself. And so I just wrote this, and it's kind of like a poem, but I just kind of wrote it really to myself. Because he reminded me of something. I said, okay, you take this a little bit further. And I wrote down, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. So I must treat you with love, because I would like to be treated with love. I forgive me, I love me. I can only love you to the degree that I love myself. So my duty is to love me with all of my heart and soul, so I can treat others as I would like to be treated. How would I like to be treated? With love. And I believe that message that the Imam brought, that's what it was. It was about love. He didn't bring it in anger. He didn't bring it, to hurt anybody. He brought it so that everybody would be healed. And so now we go forward with that message. The Imam said he wanted it to be a permanent movement. But we know he stopped the church walks and that activity. But he said he wanted it to be a permanent movement. So we have to use our minds to figure out, okay, what's the next move? And when we talked at the CRAID convention in Dallas, Texas, and that was the first national gathering under Imam Waritheen Muhammad's leadership. And it started with a committee in Chicago, and then their inspiration extended here to this building. And then there was a small committee of about 10 people that got together to start something here that would reach across the country. Because the Imam said, don't do anything locally, they wouldn't help your brothers and sisters all over. And so that movement that was started, and when we got to Dallas, when I addressed the believers there, I said, we call it the final step. CRAID is the final step. So I said, in order to make a step, you got to make 3 movements. You put the heel down, then you put the ball of the foot down, then you put the toe down. And we just put the heel down. Okay, so now, here we go again. And we have a parade, the American Psychological Association for the Removal of All Images that Attempt to Betray the Divine. So now we can go to the college campuses and bring psychiatrists and psychologists and lay psychologists and psychiatrists and pastors and imams to speak to the church communities to continue to deliver the message in a more academic form. So we have planned, we've already talked to the Muslim Student Association at Stanford University, and we're getting involved with the Black Student Union at Stanford University, so that in late September or early October, we'll have an event at Stanford. And so we want the whole country to be paying attention to this. And we're going to invite the psychiatrists and the psychologists and the pastors and the imams to speak. And we're going to invite the entire Northern California church community to come to listen to the message of concern. And so this is just a continuation. It's a continuation. And it's beautiful that that Imam Shuaib gave us an opportunity to have this meeting here at this location, because this is the location that Muhammad Abdullah spoke at. He spoke at this right here in this building, and then Imam Waritheen Muhammad came here, and he was resident Imam right here, resident Imam in Oakland, California, while we were doing that CRAID movement. I remember when Wali Ali saw some images in the Culture Center for the first time. Anybody had ever heard it. And when Imam Muhammad heard those lyrics, he jumped up out of his seat. He said, "You look like the slave masters of long ago." Imam jumped up. I said, "Whoa." And then we went to LA and recorded it in the studio. And what some of us don't realize is a lot of that CRAID movement, in fact, the majority of that CRAID movement was for us. Not for the general public. We passed out flyers and signs, but we were doing therapy on ourselves and didn't even know it. We listened to images, but the general public haven't heard it yet. And it's a hit song. It was a hit song then, it's a hit song now. It's going to come out. We just listened to the Propagators earlier this morning with their song. So now we have to take what we ingested and take it out. Before we had a catalyst and we had a lot of enthusiasm because Imam Waritheen Muhammad was physically with us. So we were doing a lot of it for him. He's not physically with us anymore. But he has trained us to do this work. And so now we do this work with his spirit in us. And like the speakers before me said, we got people that are 30 and 40 years old now. Remember, we were in our early 30s. 29 and 30 years old when we did this work. Imam came here, he was 48. And he passed the baton to us. He made Imam Shuaib the spokesman for the Bay Area. He was the spokesman for the CRAID committee, but he also made him the spokesman for the Bay Area. Imam Qadir al-Amin became his assistant imam. He appointed me to be his personal assistant. We were all 30-year-olds. He was just deputizing people. And hey, you're going to do this, and you're going to do that, and you're going to do this. We got to do that same thing now. And start deputizing the youth and giving them an opportunity to take on leadership. So I want to congratulate this committee that put this program on today. Brother Asmar and Brother Siraj and Sister Mahasan and Brother Ahmad Hassan and Brother Halim Mustafa and Brother Asmar Muhammad met diligently to make this presentation to the country possible, and it was hard work. But it was a small committee that did it in the beginning. Very small committee. And then it just went all over the country. And we had thousands and thousands of people participating in no time. And we expect the same thing to happen again. And the people that we honor here in the Bay Area, the late Rashid Shabazz. He was the CRAID chairman here in Oakland after me. And Brother Abu Qadir al-Amin, he was the CRAID chairman in San Francisco. Yusuf Wakil was the first CRAID chairman here in the Bay Area. Sister Amatullah was spoke today. She was the secretary of the CRAID committee here at headquarters for CRAID. Made me look so good. and our spokesman, Imam Fahim Shuaib, he used to go downtown on Broadway and with the bullhorn and just speak, and people would stop and say, "Who is that brother?" And they would stop and listen too, because it was very enthusiastic, and the message got out. Brother Wali Muhammad from Richmond, California was the CRAID chairman, and Brother Ahmad Hassan out of East Palo Alto. And so we just want to congratulate everybody, but this is just in the Bay Area, but really we congratulate everybody all around the United States of America, because it was a massive movement. It was very organized. We could do the same thing on the same day. We got to bring back that same discipline and same organization. And we're doing it now, and I close with this. Brother Talib Sharif, we congratulate him, he just retired, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Highest rank of enlisting officer in the Air Force. And he is now the Director General of an organization called Masjidul, the Muslim Adhan School of Jihad, Ihsan and Dawah. A parade comes underneath that umbrella. And that kind of brings back that discipline again. Now here we got a gentleman who knows discipline. Trust me, he knows discipline to the core. And now he's coming to share it with us. And say, okay, we're going to put together this committee. It's kind of like the Boy Scouts, you know. It's kind of like the Salvation Army. If you want a chapter of the Boy Scouts here at the Masjid, they'll come in and they'll train somebody to be your troop leader from your community. But you don't tell them what kind of uniform to wear. And you don't tell them what the procedure is going to be. They already got that. So Masjid comes in with that same type of flavor for all the masajid around the country that want to do dawah and want to have a comprehensive program. Then Talib Sharif is going to be there to help with that discipline. to come in. And then a parade and different organizations you'll find out about at the National Convention. And so I'll make this announcement. On July 4th, I'll be doing the first Sunday address in Chicago. We're going to be talking about a parade, removing all racial images from worship. August, the first Sunday in August, Tom Sharif will be doing the first Sunday in Chicago, talking about a parade, remove all racial images from worship. And then together we're going to do a workshop at the National Convention about Masjid and a parade. So can you feel the movement? Yes. Can you feel this movement? We're moving again. And so this is people have mentioned this before, and I close on this note. This is the Khalifa Project. And when we first did CRAID, I went around the country and did the tour, and I talked about a Sabiqun. Those who are foremost in faith will be foremost in the hereafter. Sabiq, the competitors. So we put that word out, and everybody got excited about that word. Now we got to pay attention to what Allah's name does. Khalifa. We're going to put a Khalifa in the earth. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. And a lot of people say, well, where's the head of your community? Imam Muhammad is not here anymore. Where's the head? Imam Muhammad told us about the Khalifa. It's not one person. It's a group. The Khalifa. And so if we accept our title, then we accept our responsibility. If we reject our title, we'll reject our responsibilities. We are the deputies of Allah. That's a big title. That's a big job, isn't it? But Imam Muhammad has prepared us for that work. And I know that everybody around the country, I know the CRAID, the people that work in CRAID. I know you're ready to do this work. I know it. And now you got children that are 30 and 40 years old. We want them. Tell them about what you did. Share with them what you did. Because now it's their turn. And so again, as I started, I want to say this is about love. This is about love. Let's show everybody how much we love ourselves. We love ourselves. They say, the dates are July 4th, 1930. That's when Farad Muhammad said he came. Okay, and now we've demystified it now. We don't see him as any deity or anything like that. It was a man that came to our community and saw our plight and started a movement. And then Elijah took it on. And then Imam Waritheen Muhammad has taken it on. And now we have it. 80 years have passed. And here we go. I mean, we're accelerating. Right. We're not slowing down, we're accelerating. And so here, W.D. Muhammad II is taking over the ministry for his father. I remember when he was that big. And he's a trusted son, and he's doing a great job. And then here, and we did that movement, the same type of movement for his father. And now we're doing the same type of movement for the son. Not deifying him either. He's not trying to be the spiritual leader of the community. He's trying to help the community. The way his father has taught him to help the community. And then, so are we doing the same thing? Yes. He taught us how to help this community. So now all of us together again, collectively, like Yusuf said, in unity, we help the community. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the work that you did. Thank you for the work that you did for Imam Waritheen Muhammad. Because he needed that support. And then remember, he wasn't here for what you think he was here for. You got to remember this, what I'm going to tell you. A lot of people say, oh, we didn't help him enough. We didn't help Imam Waritheen Muhammad. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. Because you weren't here to help him. He was here to help you. Allah sent him here to help us. We couldn't help him, man. Allah had his back. Allah had his back all the time. We know we couldn't help him. We gave him all his problems and troubles. But he stayed with us to educate us. Okay? So he wasn't here. He was here to help us. We weren't here to help him. He helped us. All right, so rest. Be comfortable with yourself. Love yourself for the great work that you do. And so I thank you. And let's turn it back over to Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar!
Thank you for calling me a matana. I am a servant of God. Okay, a couple of closing points. I do want to read this poem to you by Imam Waritheen Muhammad. I was going through Antar's CRAID narratives. Alhamdulillah, these are something to be saved and cherished. There was a letter from Muhammad Ali, the People's Chant, and there is also a poem, a beautiful poem by Imam Waritheen Muhammad I'd like to share and then open up for questions and answers, whether the mic is rolling or the film is rolling or not. Thank you. It's on the last page of the Community Voice. We want to thank Brother Ahmed Hassan for sponsoring the publications of this, and ask Allah to increase him and reward him by every letter that a person reads in it. It is a collection of information, again, from the narratives. The Commendable Praise by Imam Waritheen. You are found standing in a straight row, that everyone may know it is not for arms, but for human unification. That is the commendable praise. You have answered the caller to spiritual and community development with tribute to a one world nation. That is the commendable praise. Having formed a tangible posture with this land, you now despise not any race nor any man. It is to utter the commendable praise that you lift your hands. Allahu Akbar, that is salvation. You have set yourself to conform to what is true. Though Allah edified you, you intended not that your goods be for your edification. That is commendable praise. You went from night in true pursuit, and not once did you think that you had an exclusive right. That is commendable praise. You lift your hands not against any man, but are to say, Allahu Akbar, to utter the commendable praise. There's a praise. Punctuation. So I thought that was beautiful, and I think it is more beautiful read silently. So please take time to do that. I want to just say as a note of information towards future dawah, I had a brief conversation with Gabriella. She's with KPFA and also in Kasha. And inshallah, she'll be coming to work with us as she continues to develop her plan on publicity. You know, what does good publicity look like? How do you create a press release? How do you approach the media, the newspaper? How do you present yourself? Because that's an important part of the dawah as well. And as we continue communications with her, we'll bring it to the community to make you all a part of it. I'd like to now bring up Sister Mahassan, who's going to share for us 2 minutes something regarding CRAID, and then we'll open it up for any questions and answers and sharing, and close thereafter going across to support New Africa Kitchen, who has prepared lunch for $12. And so buy one or two, take it home, eat one now, take one to your children and your loved ones, and do a drive-by for delivery to family and friends, and support New Africa Kitchen in its preparation for lunch today. Awesome.
This is wonderful. Okay, there's a big symbol in that, you know. We share the same vision. And inshallah, Allah grants us the capacity to see equally. And one person's aid in helping with our vision, it's a blessing from Allah. So I want to, not only yourself, Imam Shuai, but all of the imams who have made any contribution, all of the brothers and sisters, not only in the CRAID movement, but in every initiative that has moved us forward in our campaign to be Muslims, to become Muslims, to become Khalifa, right? To aid Imam Muhammad in his vision for us as he was receiving the charge of his mission. Just wanted to share a couple of things. I'm going to try to be short. Give me the sign if it gets long. When I left here in 76 to go to Chicago, I left here to save my life. And I do believe that would have translated into a physical life. As you know, we were going through a lot of transition at that time, right? And a lot of things were shaking out. Those who were really active probably really understood the challenges that we faced. But I was managing a bakery outlet over on Divisadero. Did anybody ever come over there and get my sandwiches? Okay, not. But I knew, because of some level of confusion going here, that if I didn't get out and go close to him and physically close to him, that I might not make it. That was my fear. So, with the help of beautiful brothers and sisters, I was able to transition to Chicago. Got hired at the school the first day I was there. They didn't know me from Adam, as we say, or Howard. But because of the spirit we shared at that time, there were people of like minds. Once you got on that track, all Allah required is that you were willing. And the doors just opened for you. Nobody did a credit check on you. Nobody did a background check. For some people, it should have been a background check. Probably should have been a credit check. But Allah is most high and most capable of sorting, right? Alhamdulillah. So one of the blessings of being there was to fulfill my wish. I said, I've got to go where I can hear it from the horse's mouth. It might get twisted if I stay here. I had little bitty babies at that time, and I didn't want them to get it twisted, right? So we packed up those suitcases and whatnot. We knew no barriers. Second day I was there, got an apartment. These are no money transactions. Job first day, apartment the second day. Did I not understand that it was Allah who wanted me to be here? He had something for me to do. During my tenure as a teacher, Imam Muhammad was our principal. So he conducted our staff meetings. He conducted our training, hands-on. He asked the teachers for 1 year, the first year that I was teaching here, he said, I want you to use bulletin boards, big meta messages, as Imam Shuaib has taught us, so consistency. He said, and take the things that I'm teaching about and just put them up. Leave them up for about 2 weeks, because that's as long as the mind can see it without going blind. They don't see it anymore. You pass by signs, you just don't see it anymore. And he was strategic like that. And one of the statements he had made, just as so many of you have said, he said, tell these children, Allah has given you a big job. And he said, don't tell them what it is. See and listen for the questions that they ask. Only address it if they ask you, okay? And that's the process that has enlarged our specific individual as well as general creativity. Our group of Muslims, there is no more creative group of people in the world, okay? And it's an unending source that we draw from. Age doesn't matter, location doesn't matter, etc. So for us, it's very important to see ourselves is always at the beginning of some movement, right? Leave off, shukran. Leave off, Allah says, when you finish one job, when you leave off one job, still labor hard, okay? You have some of us going to be on crutches around here, some going to have a little scooter with the button, right? Some of us going to have somebody under this arm and somebody under this arm. But we are, inshallah, going to still labor hard. And we do encourage our youth, come forward, take the baton. Sometimes I don't want to let it go, because it feels good, right? And I know I can do this. But just gently slide it out of my hand and carry on. Because this is a movement that can never die. Last statement. Imam said a powerful thing that I always keep with me. He said, living evolves what life needs. Allah knew that the human being needed this message. And every tool that we knew that we could use to make it successful, he has granted us. The song about CRAID, the contingency that does the marches, the teachings, the 4 elements of it, like you said, the plot, the message, the problem, the solution. We don't have to worry. We are not supplying this. Allah is supplying this. Alhamdulillah. And we can go on and on and on. We must tell our children that. Their name is already on a baton. All you have to do is take it in your hand. Allah will give you the rest. All right. Let's be that never-ending story in the history books. Inshallah.
That's beautiful. Any more sharing before we officially close?
Actually, I have some now.
Okay, come on, I feel like we're in church. Come on in.
You might have heard, don't worry, it's prayer time, and I respect God more than my own voice. Right? But you heard my response, means the commendable praise. I remember when Imam Muhammad read that poem, or recited that poem for the first time, right here in the middle of this Masjidul. Did you pick up on what he's actually talking about? Anybody have any idea? Does your intuition suggest anything to you that what the Imam was talking about in that?